Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your host, Delano, on the FanWire Podcast, bringing you the official breakdown of the 2025 Washington Mystics season. I hope you're ready because this is your trusted voice for Washington Mystic content. Hey, let's get to it. Let's run it. So, the Washington Mystics pretty much had a very interesting season. And why do I say they had such an interesting season? It's because they had a team full of rookies, a team full of younger players. They had younger players, as in they were the youngest team in the entire WNBA. So going forward in this particular series or the season, I would say, they wasn't really projected to do a whole lot this season. But with the new additions and how we have a new coach and new leadership, they really showed us that what direction the Washington Mystics are going in is going up. I mean, they're going up. So let's run through it. So at the very beginning of the season, well, actually, even before this beginning of the season, let's talk about the draft. Because we ran through the whole entire season. Okay, so we started out prior to the WNBA draft, the 2025 draft. We traded Ariel Atkins to the Chicago Sky. A lot of fans of the Washington Mystics they were nowhere near happy with the direction of the team. They were really upset when it comes to losing key players. You know, you can call her a foundational player for this current Washington Mystic team, right? And this is prior to the draft. She was a town favorite, and a lot of people were upset with losing Ariel Atkins. In that trade with the Chicago Sky, the Washington Mystics received the number 3 draft pick. And that is so important for our Washington Mystics. And also in that trade, we obtained the rights to a second round pick in the 2027 draft, right? 2027 is so important. We also obtained the rights to swap the first round pick in that 2027 draft. That draft is so loaded with talent that's coming in. You know, we would love to have the first pick in that draft. But if we don't, there are still so many players that have standout talent that we're going to get another gem regardless. The gem of that draft is Juju Watkins. But there are so many others, just in case we don't get the number 1 pick. All right. So anyway, let's keep on going. So this season, the 2025 season, was definitely a beginning of a rebuild period for our team. You know, sometimes you got to just tear it down, you know, get some of the older players or the players that have played for us for many seasons, many years, might have to take a different direction, right? They might have to move away from the team. So Ariel Atkins was the first piece to be moved. We also ended up making another trade we made a trade with the Minnesota Lynx, right? And that trade was an important trade as well. So we ended up trading Katie Samuelson to the Minnesota Lynx. Okay, and that trade happened directly before the draft started. So we have new leadership, right? Our new leadership is Jamila Weidman. That's our new general manager. We also have a new coach that came in, and Coach Sidney Johnson, right? So we're gonna talk about that more in a few, right? So Carly Samuelson, I called her Katie Samuelson. My apologies. Carly Samuelson was traded, and we ended up getting I believe we got a first round draft pick for her. We got a late. I know we got a late pick. So let me put this together here. Hold on a second here. Give me a moment here. Yeah. Okay. So Carly Samuelson was traded from the Washington Mystics to the Minnesota Lynx for a 2026 first round draft pick. It's so important because there's more to this story that's coming, right? So that's an extra draft pick in 2026. And by us making these trades, we're just positioning ourselves for the future. It's just a matter of time because we have so many opportunities to add new and youthful quality ball players. But we're talking through this. All right. Okay. So by us making these trades, we ended up having 3 first round draft picks in a 2025 draft. And it's so important to our season that we were able to make these trades, right? Into the future of our team. So in that draft, we ended up securing the rights with the number 3 pick that we acquired from the Chicago Sky, Sonia Citron out of Notre Dame. She ended up being a super rookie. Kiki Irfin, we got with the number 4 pick, forward out of USC, right? We ended up also getting Georgia Moore out of Kentucky, your point guard's favorite point guard. But she ended up hurting herself directly before the season began. So she was out with an ACL injury for the season. So we're looking for her to come back in 2026. All right. We also drafted Lucy Alston out of Iowa. Lucy Alston came in and filled the shoes of Caitlin Clark after she was drafted. So that's some big shoes to fill. And she did well at Iowa. Got her drafted with the number 23 pick, right? All right. We also drafted Zay Green, right? It's another guard, I believe from Alabama, right? So with all of this draft capital, there were going to need to be some changes to our roster, right? So we had several players that came into the training camp, and hey, those moves served as well for the preseason, but 4 of those rookies were able to make the team. So that Sonia Citron, Kiki Irfin, Georgia Moore made the team, but as a injured player, right? So Lucy Austin also made the team, right? So, you know, it was great that our rookies were able to make the team, right? Because hey, we're transitioning for the future. We need to get younger. We need to get better. We need to get faster. We need to get stronger, right? So by bringing these rookies in, it was like, hey, we don't know what the season's going to be. It could be bad. It could be real bad, right? Because we just didn't know what was going on. Plus, we had new leadership, new coaches. We just didn't know how this was going to go. Plus, we had players coming back from injury, and it was refreshing to see what was going to go on. And during the preseason, you know, we had stuff to work on. You could just say that we had some things to work on. We had to figure some things out. And from the first game against the Atlanta Dream, being in the building at that game was electric. It was electric. It was pumping. It was jumping. And then we ended up getting a victory. We was like, hey, we could do this thing. Or let me say that. Let me say this before I say we could do this thing. We weren't there yet. But we was like, hey, this team can go in the right direction, right? But, we still had more games to play. So based on the beginning half of the season, we won. We had a great record at the beginning of the season. And up until All-Star break, we had a great season. We was on the path to making the playoffs with the youngest team in the WNBA with a brand new head coach and a brand new general manager. But it was at the point of, do we continue to win with what we have, or do we end up making a change for the future? Right? So that was a critical moment for our season. And during the mid-season, Jamila Wideman decided to make a move. Well, actually, before that move, there was rumors that Aaliyah Edwards could have been moved, right? And that definitely rubbed WNBA players. I'm sorry, the Washington Mystic fan base the wrong way. People were not happy hearing that Aaliyah Edwards could have been potentially on the move. And Aaliyah Edwards is the Washington Mystics, or was the Washington Mystics' first round draft pick from the previous season, from the 2024 season. She was drafted one pick ahead of Angel Reese, right? So she was a fan favorite. And to hear that news, it was like, yo, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on here. All right. So All-Star Weekend is here, right? Or approaching. And we have we had 3 players to make the All-Star team, right? We had Brittany Sykes, a.k.a. Slim, dynamic, get-to-the-bucket basketball player, great defensive defender, great leader for the team. Then our dynamic duo of rookies with Sonia Citron and Kiki Irvin, they made the All-Star team as well. And they were the first 2 teammates as rookies to make it in years. And what's crazy is the last team to actually pull off this feat was, guess who? the Washington Mystics, right? So yeah, it was dynamic. It was great to see, right? So, you know, Sonya Citron also competed in the 3-point contest. She didn't do as well as I thought she would have, but hey, you're a rookie. The nerves got to her a little bit, but these are still building blocks for the future. All right. So after that, mid-season, we get to the trade deadline. Hey, 2 moves occurred. Brittany Sykes was moved on August 5th to Seattle, and that brought us in return Alicia Clark, a veteran, right? So we still had veteran leadership on the team, even though we traded one of the cornerstones in Brittany Sykes, right? Alicia Clark was brought to the team. Also, Zeke Cook was traded as well, but she was just a part of the trade to make sure everything worked out. She was immediately waived. This was such a high-profile trade, right? Because there's also another key piece. Seattle also sent their first-round draft pick to our Washington Mystics as well. So Jamila Wideman is cooking. She's swindling. She's diddling. She's getting it together. She is setting us up for the future. So salute to GM Jamila Wideman, because she's been killing. I mean, cooking. All right. So additionally, we had another player, and Aaliyah Edwards, that had already been in rumors. She was also traded. She was traded 2 days later, right at the deadline. And she was traded to the Connecticut Sun for J.C. Sheldon. J.C. Sheldon is a second-year player, right? Or was a second-year player. She was drafted in the same draft as Caitlin Clark, also the same draft as Angel Reese. And, I was excited to see J.C. Sheldon coming to the team because I was a fan. I'm a fan of her. She's tough. She can shoot the 3. She can get out and run. Good pickup, right? But the key to this trade that made it so dope for me was the ability to get another draft pick. So Jamila Wideman orchestrated a trade that brought us back a good quality guard. Also, someone that either in J.C. Sheldon that's either able to become a good rotational piece, or someone that can be leveraged in trades going forward, or someone that can be used or could be made available, let's say it that way, in the upcoming expansion draft that's coming in 2026. There's a lot of things going on in 2026, right? So, with that draft pick, getting that first round pick gives us, at this point, we have our own draft pick, right? That's just our team draft pick. We get Minnesota's draft pick from the Carly Samuelson trade. Also, we get the draft pick from Connecticut Sun. We are setting ourselves up for the future. I mean, for real. All right. So now, let's talk about what's going on from here. So after making this trade, we were kind of up and down. We were still kind of in the mix. And then we got to the point where it's like, okay, we're not going to make any noise in the playoffs. It would be great to get playoff experience, but how would that impact us going forward with our draft capital and the ability to obtain more standout players that'll be ready to compete and we having a young team with salary cap space going forward, right? Okay. So late in the season, you know, like I said, it was up and down. It was dicey, and we ended up losing out going to the end of the season, right? Um, we added Madison Scott. She signed some short term contracts, but was ended up retained for the entire or the remainder of the season. And Madison Scott is another young ball player, was drafted in the 2025 draft to Dallas, but it didn't work out, right? But she has a lot of potential. A lot of potential. I like her ability to be able to guard in space. She's an energy player. She also brings leadership, even from a young mind. Brings leadership. I like her. All right. So now let's talk about our record. In 2024, we ended up with a 14-26 record, and that came with it was an experienced team, right? But I'm going to associate those losses to coaching, and also those losses to player availability because people were injured, right? So jumping forward again, we made all these different moves and all these transactions. And the 2025 season, we ended up with a 16-28 record. So we actually improved our team record with the youngest team in the league, with making all of these trades, making all of these changes. Trust me, we're going in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. All right. So let's talk about who did what with the team, right? So again, Brittany Sykes was a key contributor for the first 25 games of the season that she played, right? Averaged about 15 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, was the team's top scorer prior to being traded. Played significant minutes. All right. So now let's talk about our rookies. Sonia Citron played 44 games, right? Averaging 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, immediate impact on the team, right? And then ended up being the team's point leader amongst the remaining roster, right? All right. She also was a standout 3-point shooter while being a dynamite defender. I mean, shutdown defender. All right. Kiki Irfin, another one of our rookie dynamic duo. Averaged 13 points a game, 8 rebounds, close to 9, about 8.5 rebounds a game. And was a dynamic stretch big for us. Rebound queen, right? Set rookie records for rebounds. And Sonia Citron set rookie records for threes. Dynamic pieces to the puzzle going forward. All right. Shakira Austin. Shakira Austin. Okay, real quick. I'm sorry. Let me double back. Sonia Citron and Kiki Irfin. They also, due to their dynamic play, they won AP rookie first team, or actually rookie team honors, right? There's only 5 slots out of all the rookies. We got 2 of them. And I think that if Georgia Amore was available, we would have had 3 of them. For real. But, it's okay. All right. So Shakira Austin, we were looking to see what Shakira was going to do. Because Shakira Austin is a player that plays with fire and has a high motor and plays with passion, right? And she's tough. She can get rebounds. She can defend. She can score. She can do her thing. And our main focus point, our main concern with Shakira for this season, or prior to this season, was if she was going to be able to maintain health for this season. And she was able to play the majority of her games. So, and she played lights out for the majority of the games. Averaged 12 points a game, 6 rebounds, was getting to her block game, pulling that out the bag later on in the season. And Shakira was actually the comeback player of the year for the WNBA, according to AP. So our team did their thing. And Shakira Austin is going to become a free agent. And guess what? We need to sign her back. We need to do our thing. Give her that bread. Put that bread in her bag. All right. Sug Sut. You know, I like her game, just watching her from the 2024 season and just seeing different things that she was capable of doing, but she hadn't really had the opportunity to do it. And she did her thing, right? Sug Sutton did her thing this season. She cemented herself as a quality point guard going forward. I would love to see Sug Sutton back in 2026. But if she's not able to come back to the team, she's definitely will be on someone's roster playing significant minutes based on the season that she had in 2025. I'm sure. But we need to do the right thing. Bring back Sub. Right? So bring back Shakira, bring back Sub. Right. Jade Melbourne. I call her Little Sonic because she be going. She be going. But at the same token is, prior to JC Sheldon coming to the team, she was, I would say, out of control. She had out of control speed. She would go, then she might turn the ball over. She might, fall on the ground, all kind of things. She has so much potential, but she has to put the pieces together. She needs to have a season like Sug had, where she puts the pieces together. Jay Milburn, again, like I mentioned, when it came to JC Sheldon and Jay Milburn pretty much played similar positions on the floor, right? Or have similar roles. Let me say that. Similar roles on the floor. And I believe that Jay Milburn was like, hey, I need to turn it up. I need to be more consistent because I got somebody in here that can take my job. So after that trade, Jay was on it. Jay was doing her thing. She ended up averaging 6 points a game, about 3 rebounds, played about 13 minutes a game. And, I will also say this about Jay. Jay is probably top 5 toughest players in the entire WNBA. Whether she's getting her teeth knocked out, like literally getting her teeth knocked out, getting, concussions, getting hurt, but she a tank. She don't play. She get to it. She get back to it. Yeah, she tough. She's a great addition on anybody's team. All right. Alicia Clark, the veteran that came to our team through that Brittany Sykes trade, played way better than I expected. Right? Had spurts of like, hey, she's tough. She's a great veteran presence on the team. Only averaged 4 points a game, 3 rebounds, but she shot the ball in critical key moments, shooting threes. playing serviceable defense, right? Now, talk about Lucy Austin. Lucy Austin scared me in the beginning of the season. I was like, I don't know if she's ready, right? But the coaches, her teammates, believed in her. And by the end of the season, Lucy Austin was playing like a vet. Lucy Austin was playing like, hey, I'm ready for this. So I think she just had to warm up, get through the jitters, and she did her thing by the end of the season. So Lucy Austin, let's see what you could do. Let's see it. But she may be a part of the expansion draft. We don't know just yet. We'll see how this all season shakes up. Stephanie Dawson, Big Mama. Big Mama averaged close to 6 points a game, 1.5 rebounds, close to 3 assists. Veteran big woman, but she's not necessarily an interior piece because she is a 3-point shooter. She is a stretch the floor big, right? But Stephanie Dawson, I expected her to have a more of a impact on the season. But due to Kiki Irfin and Shakira Austin taking it up to the next level this season, it didn't give her a lot of opportunity to get on the floor. Also, it also shows that even though Stephanie Dawson is a good stretch big where she can shoot three, she doesn't run the floor that very well, right? So I don't think that really helped her with minutes on the team. So we'll see if Stephanie is brought back as a veteran, or will she be a very good piece on another team, right? We'll see. All right. So Emily Inksler was another reserve big that we had that played multiple, or actually both forward positions. Averaged about close to 4 points a game, actually about 3 rebounds a game. And, when she got in the game, she figured out her role. And she was energy off the bench, getting key rebounds, not being denied, hitting buckets, that type of thing, right? But again, with Kira Austin and Kiki doing their thing this season, it didn't give her a lot of room to be able to do what she's capable of doing. She may be back or she might be gone. We'll see. Sakia Cone didn't play much at all. She ended up being cut from the team, and that also gave the opportunity for Madison Scott to come to the team. But Madison Scott is a local product of the DMV. And with her minutes, she was more of a defensive presence, energy player. So she didn't score a lot at all. But she came in and she closed out quarters based on certain lineups or teams that we're playing based on lineups. So she was actually played very, very good defense. I think she put a lot of good things on tape. So we'll see if Madison's brought back to the team or if she'll be able to explore other options with other teams. But I think she can play in this league. She definitely can. All right. So if we look back at the snapshot, Kiki Irfin led the team in rebounds with 8.5 rebounds. Suggs Sutton led the team in assists with about 4 assists a game. Sonia Citron, I told you she was a defender, led the team with about a steal a game. I think she can get some more. And Shakira Austin ended up averaging about a block a game, a little over a block a game. So it's dynamic. It's dope. we were expecting Brittany Sykes to have a breakout season because she was going to be the focal point of the offense. But she had days where she would turn it on. She had days where she would turn it off. So, again, she still played great, especially for teams this season that were going to make a playoff push. And, they felt like they needed that one extra piece. So Seattle came knocking and they gave us what we needed. We draft capital, right? And a veteran player coming back. Not mad at it. Yeah, she had a little thirsty here. She had a breakout season, but she regressed a little bit. Again, Shakira Austin, come back, player of the year. So efficient this season. Tony Citron and Kiki Erfin, rookies that are big dynamic pieces for the team. Now the question, will they be cornerstones or will they be great pieces? We'll see as we go forward. All right. Yeah. We improved our ability to be rebounders and defenders going forward. Throw a little dry here, talking a little while. We're going to see what goes forward with our team. I think that even though we didn't end up making the playoffs, it's still a net positive for our team. We did the right thing. We did a great thing. This is a rebuild. And then based on all of the draft capital and how well our rookies played, we ended up accelerating our rebuild because a rebuild normally takes years to do. But I think that with our pieces, we're streamlining this rebuild. We're going to be better before we know it. So, yeah, that's the breakdown of the 2025 season. We did well. We did better than expected. And we proved that, hey, we got building blocks for the future. I ain't mad at all. I'm ready for it. Ready to see what we do. Because we got another draft coming with 3 more first-round picks. We can't beat it. We can't beat it. So let's see what happens. All right. So, again, this is your trusted voice for watching and Mr. Content, Delano at the FanWire Podcast. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Every single one of y'all. Yeah. So, yeah, we appreciate you. And with that being said, make sure that you like the video, share it on your social media, follow us on social media, because, hey, we're going to keep bringing you this content. The season might be over for us, but we got so much to talk about. Yeah, let's get to it. It's your host, Delano. And guess what? I'm out this joint. Y'all take it easy.